Trail Club, devoted to trucking safety. Register online at redeyeradioshow.com.
My name is Tom Thornton.
And my name is Cindy Thornton. We're retired, and this is how we live united.
We decided to volunteer with United Way at our community free health clinic.
United Way is how we contribute, because we know our time and money are going to the right places.
Judging by the thank yous we get at the clinic, I'd say we're doing the right thing with our retirement, too. We're Tom and Cindy Thornton. We volunteer at our community free health clinic. We don't just wear the shirt.
We live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Getting support from friends online kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
Instead of smoking after I ate, I'd get up and take a walk.
I missed having a cigarette in my hand, so I'd hold a pen or a straw, anything.
Until I knew I wouldn't give in to temptation, I spent more time with my friends who didn't smoke.
I went to places that were smoke-free.
I didn't stay quit the very first time I tried.
I kept on trying, and I learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
I quit.
I quit.
I quit.
We did it, so can you.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
You see miracles all the time at our children's hospital, but miracles never come easy. That's why, as great as children's hospitals are, they need our support to keep miracles happening. Put your money where the miracles are. Support your Children's Miracle Network Hospital.
The Rush Limbaugh Show.
And these people look absolutely pathetic.
After Rick and Bubba, it's the EIB Network at 11 a.m. And it's only on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
It's Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Cronin. I'm Gary McNamara, 866-90 Red Eye. If you would like to get aboard, coming up following the top of the hour, a new definition of another word.
Okay.
This almost every day we have one of these, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, right. Are we going to have to get a new liberal dictionary? Is Webster's going to have a new?
There'll be two dictionaries.
Right. Yeah.
And the Democrats proposed legislation expanding the Supreme Court. You know what I think ticked off people on the left? And I expected this anyway, because they want to force a vote and put the pressure on the Democratic senators that would not do this, even though the American people aren't for this.
Right.
It's like I believe what happened is they looked at what Biden was doing and saying Biden's trying to push us down the road. He doesn't want to confront it.
Mm-hmm.
Putting together the liberal group to look at, look at whether we should pack the court or not. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I believe the liberals, the far left in the Democratic Party, views that he's just stalling.
Right.
And so
which he is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, and then that's why you had a couple of members of the GOP going, okay, great, let's get the head count. Let's do this. Because, it's not too far away from the midterm to have an effect. It isn't. And they will eventually be on record. You want this? Great. Vote on it. Let's see how extreme you really are. Because there's a handful of Senate seats right now. Democrats, in fact, there were a couple that the GOP was calling out, saying, okay, look, Warnock was one of them. But a couple of other Democrats in purple states, saying, let's see where they fall on this. Let's see where they vote. Let's get everybody talking about it and put your opinion on record. Let's put your vote on record. That will be used by the GOP in the midterm. No doubt. This is how radical they are.
Well, and understand the reason they're doing this is because they just view the Supreme Court as another legislative body.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know, they've made that clear for the longest time that they don't expect judges to interpret laws, they expect judges to make law. And so this is no surprise at all. I'm not shocked by this because we know what their philosophy is.
This hour's news is brought to you by Travel Centers of America, home of World Blends Coffee, the freshest roast on the road.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.
If you've driven over 1 million preventable accident-free miles, then register online at redeyeradioshow.com and join the Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club.
2020 is finally in the rear view. Now is a great time to haul more freight with Mercer Transportation. As a 100% owner-operator company, 40 years in the business, they've always seen drivers as essential. They have plenty of loads to choose from, and you get paid fast through their quick pay program. Steep discounts on tires, fuel, and insurance help keep your business in the black. It's your truck, your business, and your future. Mercer Transportation is here to help you succeed. Go to mercertown.com. That's mercertown.com.
As a pro driver, you know all the secrets of the road, like where to find the best eats, the quickest way to get to where you're going, and that the best coffee on the interstate is at Pilot Flying J. Our beans are globally sourced and locally roasted. Then they're always brewed fresh and served just how you like it. Ice cold or steaming hot, classic black or full-on flavor loaded. It's the best coffee on the interstate, and it's the best coffee for the interstate. And it's only at Pilot Flying J.
If you're a trucking industry professional, then you need to stay on top of changing regulations, equipment upgrades, and technology advancements. Fleet Owner Magazine gives you all of this and more. Written for fleet executives and managers, Fleet Owner gives you the business intelligence on operations, vehicle maintenance, regulations, and information technology you need to stay ahead. But that's not all. With its monthly print publication, daily and weekly email newsletters, and a website updated several times a day, Fleet Owner has all the latest news and information delivered to you when you want it and where you want it. From industry experts to award-winning writers and columnists, Fleet Owner is the #1 source for trucking information in North America. Remember to visit fleetowner.com every day for the latest industry news. You can also sign up to receive Newsline, their free email newsletter, and subscribe to Fleet Owner Magazine. Visit fleetowner.com. Fleet Owner, for news you can use.
Trucker Buddy International provides driver and teacher support and helps young students excel in school by putting a face behind the steering wheel of trucks rolling down the highway. By providing for their drivers and teachers and school children through donations, they offer classrooms a chance to stay strong during these difficult times. Money raised goes towards Trucker Buddy initiatives, school supplies, meals for students, classroom technology, and much more. Both teachers and drivers can register or renew online or by phone to become active partners in the Trucker Buddy program. Active Trucker Buddies and teachers can apply for annual grant money to be awarded to participating teachers and classrooms. To help Trucker Buddy raise funds and awareness, you can make a one-time or recurring donation. Go to truckerbuddy.org to become a Trucker Buddy mentor, donate, or learn more. That's truckerbuddy.org. Educating our youth on our industry and building respect and understanding for transportation along the way. 1-800-MY-BUDDY. That's 1-800-MY-BUDDY.
News Radio 1440 WLWI AM and 95.1 HD3 Montgomery, a Cumulus station.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Dell Small Business.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Results are just in on a preliminary study on the link between COVID vaccines and a rare and dangerous blood clotting disorder that's paused use of Johnson & Johnson's shot in the U.S. The research finds the risk is even higher in people who actually become infected with the virus. More from correspondent Cami McCormick.
This study finds that cerebral venous thrombosis, or CVT, is much more common after COVID-19, with 30% of the cases occurring in people under 30. The researchers reported it in 39 out of every million. And looking specifically at vaccines, they found 4 cases out of a million in those who had the Pfizer and Moderna vaccinations, 5 in a million after the first dose of the AstraZeneca shot. is still gathering data, but found the vaccines do provide added protection.
The CDC says it needs more information before it can clear J&J's shot for use again in the U.S. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill will unveil legislation today to expand the Supreme Court. CBS's Lisa Mateo.
The bill being introduced by several Democrats would add 4 more justices to the High Court, bringing the total number from 9 to 13. The move comes after President Biden signed an executive order last week to create a commission to study Supreme Court reform. Republicans are expected to oppose the bill.
In Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. More than 20 people arrested during a 4th night of protests over the police shooting death of Dante Wright. Mayor Mike Elliott.
I ask the community to remain peaceful as we live through this tragic event.
The former white officer charged with second-degree manslaughter is expected to make her first court appearance today. Kim Potter was arrested yesterday and released from jail after posting bail. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has just made an unannounced visit to Afghanistan. He's meeting with President Ashraf Ghani a day after President Biden announced a complete U.S. troop withdrawal by September 11th. The White House expected to announce sanctions against Russia today over interference in the November election and the SolarWinds cyber attack. CBS's Olivia Gazis.
Administration officials have vowed for weeks to exact costs from Moscow. In a call with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday, President Biden said the U.S. would act firmly in defense of its national interests.
S&P futures up 20, Dow futures ahead 160. You like to hoard ketchup packets? Your time has come.
Doesn't your mom buy you Heinz?
The Wall Street Journal reports a pandemic-era restaurant run on mini pouches has led to a booming online black market. Asking prices are as high as $5 each. This is CBS News.
Dell Technologies advisors listen to your small business needs so they can provide you with tailored solutions powered by Intel vPro platform. Call today, 877-ASK-DELL.
Maybe you can relate to this. A lot of people think they're stuck with their health plan. It costs too much, or for whatever reason, they just don't like it. The great news, you are not stuck with it. There is a choice. It's called MediShare, and you could save so much. The typical savings for a family is $500 a month. Major difference maker. This is the affordable alternative to health insurance. And just to give you a little more info about MediShare, it's a Christian healthcare sharing ministry. It's worked beautifully for 26 years, has more than 400,000 members, and they've shared over $3 billion of each other's medical bills. So yes, they can help share your needs too. So you're not stuck. There's an excellent alternative, whether you're single or married, you got a family. MediShare is super flexible. You can choose an option that works for you and start saving lots of money. You can join anytime. They're great to talk to, no pressure. Call 866-88-BIBLE. That's 866-88-BIBLE. 866-88-BIBLE.
This is Jackie Robinson Day.
He first played in the majors with Brooklyn on this date, 1947.
Each year on April 15th, the Dodger organization and Major League Baseball honor a true American hero, Jackie Robinson.
MLB teams will honor the first African-American major leaguer with all players wearing his number 42. And all ballparks will show an MLB-produced video called Thank You, Jackie. There will be other ballpark presentations as well as a huge social media presence, youth activities, mostly virtual, sponsored by each major league team. Peter King, CBS News.
A Broadway star says she's not going back. Karen Olivo says her run in Moulin Rouge isn't as important as protesting harassment and abuse allegations against Power producer Scott Rudin. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
One of the very first, and I remember what
Every now and then, you come across a store that just makes you feel good inside, like the Feed Lot at Pike Road, providing quality service, fair pricing, and a feeling of nostalgia. It's that time of year to get your garden started, and the Feed Lot has all your supplies, plants, and more. Plus, Traeger grills are now in stock, just in time for warmer weather grilling. Enjoy more product knowledge and no big box crowds at the Feed Lot at Pike Road. Check out their new building that makes you feel like home at 2050 Merriweather Road.
At Guardian Credit Union, we're creating connections in new ways because connections have a way of inspiring hope, strengthening ourselves and our communities, and creating stronger financial futures. Connections happen within Guardian Credit Union, but more importantly, in how we all treat our neighbors and how we all support our communities. So join us. Connect with us, and we'll show you this is where you belong. Guardian Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
If you're worried about your hard-earned dollars becoming worthless or your 401k or IRA losing value, now is the time to move into gold. Well, not gold or silver stocks. The real gold and silver you can actually hold in your hands. How do you get real gold and silver? By calling Oxford Gold today at 833-600-GOLD. The Oxford Gold Group will teach you everything you need to know about owning real gold and silver. It's a lot easier than you think. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now at 833-600-GOLD to get your free gold and silver investment guide. Put your savings and retirement accounts into something real, like gold and silver. Get your free Oxford Gold Group investment guide today and learn how easy it is to have real gold and silver delivered to your home, or how you can have real gold and silver in your retirement account. Don't sit back and watch your savings and retirement account suffer. Now is the time to make your money work as hard for you as you did for your money. So do this. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now, today, 833-600-GOLD. That's 833-600-GOLD.
Just Getting Started with Rich Eisen has stories of humble beginnings and humbling moments from inspiring people.
Dr. Fauci, is there a through line of the presidents that you've served under?
I have served 7 presidents. Each has different challenges. George W. Bush started the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, which resulted in saving 14 to 15 million lives. Most people don't appreciate that accomplishment on his part.
Just Getting Started with Rich Eisen. Listen on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your shows.
Many of the locally owned and operated restaurants you love are staying open to serve you during this difficult time. To find a list of these restaurants, visit newsradio1440.com. Eat local and help our local businesses stay open. Your WSFA First Alert weather forecast on News Radio 1440.
Rain and perhaps a few rumbles of thunder, especially along and south of US 80 through lunchtime today. Then the afternoon is dry unless you're in far south Alabama. Temperatures warm in the low and mid-70s with some sunshine for the second half of the day and the latter half of the afternoon, especially. Tonight we're down into the low 50s. Friday, a slight chance of a few showers. Not a big deal, though. Not expecting much with highs around 68.
That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Savory for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Right now we're looking good. As far as accidents go, no major problems or accidents have been reported that would send anyone on an alternate route. Traffic moving smoothly into the Tri-County area from Clanton, Albany, Greenville. We do have some weather issues, though, this morning, so it's going to be wet and slippery as you head in. So please use caution, leave early, drive slower, and keep listening. We'll keep you posted. Shopping is festive at Festival Plaza. Stop by Bougie Nails and Spa, Sheer Experience, Winger Sports Grill, and more. Festival Plaza, Taylor and Vaughn, another great McClinton and Company development. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Delay.
For all your collision repairs, Chico's knows. Located on Atlanta Highway, just minutes from the Eastern Bypass. Call Chico's Auto Pros today at 239-9510. Chico's knows.
Good morning. I'm Tanya Terry for WSFA 12 News. We start this morning with news out of the capital city. Montgomery police are investigating 3 different shootings on Wednesday. One was deadly. The deadly shooting happened Wednesday afternoon off the Troy Highway. Investigators say 29-year-old George Wheeler was shot off of Oakley Road. He died at the scene. MPD is still looking for the shooter and a motive. If you know anything, call Crime Stoppers at 215-STOP. An internal report is unveiling more on the Capitol Police's response to the January 6th riot in Washington, D.C. That report says police shields were shattered upon impact and some officers had weapons too old to use. It also points to misused intelligence. The report casts serious doubt on whether the police would be able to respond to another large-scale attack. Congress and the Justice Department continue to investigate, and prosecutors also announced Wednesday they will not charge a police officer who shot and killed a woman involved in that riot. That's the news for now. I'm Tanya Terry for WSFA 12 News.
And they have truckloads of savings for you. Drive a new Ram 1500 with 0% APR for 72 months and bonus cash. New Dodge Challenger comes with 0% APR for 72 months and bonus cash. Shop online. They're available via chat, text, and phone to help you. ChelseaAutomotive.com, where your safety and satisfaction are guaranteed. Free credit. Must finance your Chrysler Cap $13.88 for $1,000 finance. Dealer retains all factory incentives. See dealer for details.
fix my home, Bill Bradley.
Come fix my home.
Since 1968, Montgomery residents have trusted Bill Bradley. When something breaks, it's about giving you back the comfort and security of your home as quickly as possible. For plumbing, heating, and air conditioning concerns, we'll come fix your home. Bill Bradley, the River Region's only certified road dealer.
Bill Bradley, won't you please fix my home?
Certificate number 84449.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial. ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax? I like it too.
Trump is right. Millions are tuning into Newsmax TV and going to Newsmax.com for real news. Some polls give Joe Biden a high job approval, even 60%. Now, Newsmax is asking if you agree with that. Do you really approve of Joe Biden, his policies, and $4 trillion in spending? And do you think President Trump did a better job? Let us know. Vote in the Newsmax poll right now. Just text the word PRIME to 39747. That's PRIME to 39747. It takes just a minute. Let America know who you like better, Biden or Trump. Tens of millions are watching Newsmax TV, now on all major cable systems, smart TVs, and OTT platforms. And vote now in the Newsmax poll. Just text the word PRIME to 39747. That's PRIME to 39747. Let your voice be heard. And watch Newsmax today.
If you're worried about your hard-earned dollars becoming worthless or your 401k or IRA losing value, now is the time to move into gold. No, not gold or silver stocks, but real gold and silver you can actually hold in your hands. How do you get real gold and silver? By calling Oxford Gold today at 833-600-GOLD. The Oxford Gold Group will teach you everything you need to know about owning real gold and silver. It's a lot easier than you think. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now at 833-600-GOLD to get your free gold and silver investment guide. Put your savings and retirement accounts into something real, like gold and silver. Get your free Oxford Gold Group investment guide today and learn how easy it is to have real gold and silver delivered to your home, or how you can have real gold and silver in your retirement account. Don't sit back and watch your savings and retirement account suffer. Now is the time to make your money work as hard for you as you did for your money. So do this. Call the Oxford Gold Group right now, today, 833-600-GOLD. That's 833-600-GOLD.
They are the two sexiest fat men alive. Really fun. And you can hear Rick and Bubba on News Radio 1440, beginning at 9 a.m. Depend on it.
Let's go. And good morning, everybody. Good morning, and good morning again. Good morning to all. Good morning, Montgomery. Well, I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is, we call it Decisions, because everything we do requires us to make one. Some good, some bad. But even when you don't make a decision, well, you just did. It is time for our daily bread, a moment of reflection every morning. Hopefully it'll get your mind right, if you know what I mean. Anyway, today's daily bread, of course, is called the baggage activity. Love them as yourself. For you were foreigners in Egypt. And that is Leviticus 19:34. Today's scripture insight comes from Leviticus 19:32 through 34. But first, a word from our sponsor, which is Alabama Home Mortgage. Loans Incorporated, because there is a difference in mortgage companies. And call those guys up and talk to Kim O'Malley or any of the other capable people who work over there, and I guarantee you, you'll be glad that you did. We'll be back.
If you've been living under a rock, then you know that mortgage rates are low. But did you know that mortgage rates have fallen to their lowest level since 1971? That's 50 years ago. So there's no wonder why you are getting bombarded with mortgage offers. Churchill said it best: a good speech should be like a woman's skirt, long enough to cover the subject and short enough to create interest. That's exactly what other mortgage companies do. They advertise a rate, a teaser, if you will. The advertised rate piques your interest, so you give them a call. You ask questions, only to find the advertised rate is not available to you, or there's a hefty cost for you to get that rate. Unfortunately, this is very common in the mortgage industry. When calling on Alabama Home Mortgage, you don't have to hope you're getting the best rate. You will know you're getting the best rate at the lowest cost to you. Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
Sometimes you need to reset, refocus on your day. The moment where you take a deep breath and change the focus from the problem to the problem solver. This is Decisions with Kevin Elkins.
And good morning, Montgomery, Alabama. It is time to rise and shine once again, if you can. It is April the 15th, 2021 AD. And it is time for our Daily Bread, again brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. Today's Daily Bread is entitled The Baggage Activity. For your listening pleasure, hopefully you'll enjoy it. It is a special day today because this day, just like yesterday and the day before, and the day before, and the day before that, it is a once in a lifetime deal. And once it's gone, you don't get a do-over. You don't get it back. You don't get to go back and undo the things that you did. And you don't get to go back and do the thing that you should have done. You don't get to summon it from the past. Once it's gone, it's over. So whatever you do this day, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you'll be proud of what you have done this day, April the 15th, 2021. There's no doubt if you've lived a while, you have seen, you have heard many, many yesterdays. And if we are blessed, and given the grace of God and a lot of mercy thrown in, we may, I'm not sure, we may see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should never be, then it is this day that is the first day of the rest of your life. What are you going to do with it? Well, whatever you do, make sure you reach back and help somebody else along the way. Benjamin Elijah Mays once said that whatever you do in life, and I say it every morning because it is true, whatever you do, you should do it so well that no man living, no man dead, and no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I've said that is the standard by which you live your life. You'll always be successful. Oh, you'll fail at a thing or two. But nothing makes you a failure except quitting. We say give out if you must. Rest only if you can, but you never, ever give up. You never quit. My mother said nothing beats a failure, nothing but a try. So don't ever quit. Don't ever give up, because quitters don't win. And winners, oh, they may fail at a thing or two, but they never quit. There are a lot of mountains in life. Some so high you can't get over it. At least that's the way you feel. Some so deep you can't get under it. And some so wide you can't get around them. Well, if you can't go over it, can't get under it, can't go around it, sometimes you just got to go through them. And remember this, even when it's rainy and stormy in your life, the sun is still there. Wait for it. It'll show. And if you have to, which we all have to, it don't hurt to get on bended knee and ask for a little help. Good morning to you, Montgomery. It is April the 15th, 2021. The baggage activity. That is our daily bread for today. It's time to rise and shine. Good morning to you.
Thanks for joining us for today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. I'm Kirsten Holmberg, and I'm glad to share today's reading with you that I titled The Baggage Activity. Karen, a middle school teacher, created an activity to teach her students how to better understand one another. In the baggage activity, students wrote down some of the emotional weights they were carrying. The notes were shared anonymously, giving the students insight into each other's hardships, often with a tearful response from their peers. The classroom has since been filled with a deeper sense of mutual respect among the young teens, who now have a greater sense of empathy for one another. Throughout the Bible, God has nudged his people to treat one another with dignity and show empathy in their interaction with others. As early in the history of Israel as the book of Leviticus, God pointed the Israelites toward empathy, especially in their dealings with foreigners. He said to love them as themselves because they too had been foreigners in Egypt and knew that hardship intimately. Sometimes the burdens we carry make us feel like foreigners, alone and misunderstood, even among our peers. We don't always have a similar experience to draw on as the Israelites did with the foreigners among them. Yet we can always treat those God puts in our paths with the respect and understanding that we ourselves desire. Whether a modern-day middle schooler, an Israelite, or anything in between, we honor God when we do. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Leviticus, chapter 19, verses 32 through 34. Stand up in the presence of the aged. Show respect for the elderly and revere your God. I am the Lord. When a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself, for you were foreigners in Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Let's pray. God, you know the weight in our hearts, and you graciously unburden us when we put our trust in you. Help us to offer care and compassion toward those in our lives. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Well, you know what that means? That means it's time to rise and shine in the great city of Montgomery, Alabama. A lot of things to talk about. Got a guest coming up at 8 o'clock. Oh yeah, got a guest. One of our candidates running for the District 78 seat, I believe. So we're going to talk to him. But until then, it's just us. And now we pay homage to all of our armed forces, even the ones coming home on September 11th. I'll believe that when I see it. But anyway, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. But let's not forget the Montgomery Fire Department, the Montgomery Police Department. Whether I disagree with some of them or not, we still appreciate them, okay? Because, you go to the house and somebody wants to break in, well, you can't call Uber. You got to call somebody. don't forget the sheriff department. Good morning, Sheriff Cunningham. And I said, anybody? Oh yeah. And the ambulance driver, gotta say hi. You know, we've been working the hell out of Haynes Ambulance lately, as well as our care. I mean, what's going on? Something in the water? Is it really the chicken? I don't know. And to all the other people, oh, Montgomery Sanitation Department, got to take care of my boys out there. Hey, I put a bug in the mayor's ear. I told him, you guys need a raise. I'm still working on that. Okay, I'll let you know how it works out for me. And for all the people who run in when everybody else is running out. Good morning to you, Montgomery. It's time to rise and shine. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. See, when you get up one of these mornings and you don't hear that, that means we've been taken over by the Russians or the Chinese or somebody like that. I don't know. You know, I don't know why we keep wanting to pick on the Russians. I can't figure that out. I don't know why the Democrats always want to pick on the Russians. Okay. They're almost Russian-like themselves. Why do they want to take from one, give to the other? They want to guarantee this and a guarantee. I mean, why they want to pick on the Russians? You know, Russians, they ain't bothering us. At least I don't think so. See, I was going to put my uniform in the closet and just cover it up, you know, and just put it in a bag and just call it a day. It's over. But with the Democrats in office, I got to keep my boots ready. You know, they may call the old timers back because they're going to start some mess. I know they are.
I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's
Okay, here's the deal. I guarantee you, before Biden gets out of office, we'll be in another conflict. Okay, anybody want to put any money on that? Okay, because the Democrats like to pick on the Russians and the Chinese. Well, no, they like the Chinese. They making money off that. But they like. I don't know why we like picking on the Russians. You know, I mean, besides fighting the Chinese, I think that I'd rather fight the Russian than the Chinese. Well, actually, I don't want to fight anybody. I mean, I'm getting too old for that stuff, you know. But if I had to go back, you know, I just got a feeling. I got this feeling that somewhere along the line, I'm gonna get a letter in the mail that says report to Fort Benning. You know, it's coming. I know it is. Okay, because I'll do my duty. You know, I'll go down there and be in the rear with the gear. Okay, I'm just saying. Why are we picking on the Russians? Huh. Oh! What do you think? What you think? Couldn't last for long. Oh, okay. I forgot. This no. It is Thursday, however, though. But I don't have a preacher. I don't know. I forgot to get one. But anyway, let's take a break and we'll come back with some important things. A lot of things to talk about today. You know, the one. It seems that by the laws of Minnesota. Now it seems I'm only saying this because of my exhaustive research. It seems by the laws of Minnesota that this police officer, she made a terrible mistake, no doubt about it. But there's one thing in that law that that they have failed to tell you, that the law, the charge by which she has been charged, specifically says that you must consciously. Now, I realize words mean things. You must consciously engage in behavior that puts another person's life in danger. You must consciously do it. Now, that's going to play a whole lot into this thing. That woman made a mistake. It's a costly one, and she needs to pay some kind of way. But to be politically persecuted because we want to quell the mob mentality, I think it's against what we say we are as Americans. She is going to pay. If even if she don't get any jail time, mentally she will, for the rest of her life, she'll remember what happened. Okay, and I just think that, but the word, I want you to remember that word, consciously must engage in that type of activity. Or do something that they knew would somehow cause harm or death to another. Consciously. I want you to remember that now. I want you, okay. So we don't have to riot all over America when she probably does not get found guilty of the things that they charged her with. Okay. They only charged her that bad because they didn't want the mob, you know, breaking up Minnesota again. Okay. Of course, we can shoot each other up in Minnesota. You know, I will never understand I'll never understand the mentality of people who want to tear up their own communities, loot their own businesses because somebody else did something to them. But when we do something to each other, just like yesterday here in Montgomery, the last few days it's been tough in this city. Yesterday I saw something that I hadn't seen since I was overseas, and I'm just telling you, it's we got some issues, and I don't know how to fix them. I really don't know how to fix them. I don't. Let me take a break while I cogitate on this for a second. Okay, we got some issues, some serious ones with violence in our community. We just got them, and I'm telling you, if we don't do something about it, somebody else will. So anyway, I'm just telling you, we got some problems. Anyway, we'll be back.
Take Back Day, April 24th. DEATakeback.com.
Hi, I'm Miss America 2020 Camille Schreier, and I'm asking you to join me in support of the DEA's Take Back Day, Saturday, April 24th. Keep them safe, clean them out, and take them back. Visit DEATakeback.com. That's DEATakeback.com.
Rain and perhaps a few rumbles of thunder, especially along and south of US 80 through lunchtime today. Then the afternoon is dry unless you're in far south Alabama. Temperatures Warm in the low and mid 70s with some sunshine for the second half of the day and the latter half of the afternoon, especially. Tonight, we're down into the low 50s. Friday, a slight chance of a few showers. Not a big deal, though. Not expecting much with highs around 68.
That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Sabry for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Right now, things are looking pretty good. We've had one accident reported. It was on West Fairview. They're at I-65, so please use caution through that area a little while longer. Outside of that, we're looking good. Interstate system's moving smoothly. Keep listening. We'll keep you posted. Some rain issues throughout the listening area, so leave early, drive slower, keep your headlights on low beam. Enjoy your favorite movies safely at the AMC Festival Plaza Theater. Festival Plaza, Taylor & Vaughn, another great McClinton and Company development. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay.
For all your collision repairs, Chico's Knows. Located on Atlanta Highway just minutes from the Eastern Bypass. Call Chico's Auto Pros today at 239-9510. Chico's Knows.
It's time to get outdoors and get together for those fun gatherings and family reunions. Be sure to take care of all your guests with portable toilets from Alabama Dumpster Service. They're delivered where and when you need and picked up by our own fleet of trucks. Our competitive pricing means
Oh, Lord, what you saying now?
clean portable toilets. Call us today at 334-288-1500 for availability and schedules, or learn more at alabamadumpster.com.
Montgomery's most trusted shop for auto, paint, body, and mechanical repair. It's got to be McGriff. McGriff Auto Service also does oil changes and other routine maintenance, including warranty inspections, and they're still offering pickup within a 10-mile radius on Bell Street in Montgomery. McGriff.
Rabies is a viral disease that can infect all mammals, including humans. This is State Public Health Veterinarian Dr. D. Jones. Protect yourself, your family, and your pet, not just by staying away from wild animals that often carry the virus, but also by getting your pets vaccinated. Raccoons and bats are the most common carriers of the rabies virus. The first reaction may be to approach a strange acting or injured animal. But oftentimes people are bitten or scratched while trying to help these animals. The best approach may be to contact your local animal control officers. If you are bitten or scratched by an animal, you should seek medical attention immediately. Although rabies is 100% fatal, it is also 100% preventable.
This is State Health Officer Dr. Scott Harris. For more information, visit our website, www.alabamapublichealth.gov.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it, so can you.
For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
Septic tanks are used where municipal sewers are not available, and maintenance is important. Failing septic tank systems can endanger your family, pollute the environment, and can be expensive to repair. You can prevent your system from failing by having your tank pumped every 3 to 5 years, keep a separate container for grease, and dispose of it properly. Use detergents low in phosphates and spread laundry over several days as to not overload the system with too much water. This message brought to you by the Alabama Department of Public Health and this station.
He is the voice of the conservative millennials.
The president is going to have to stand fast.
The Ben Shapiro Show.
They're not going to be willing to keep the government shut down.
Today at 3 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
a truism if I've ever heard one. Failure is good sometimes. It is the real evidence that you had the courage to try. I'm good with that. And the word of the day is the definition of this word means to cause to continue or to prevail. And that word is perpetuate. So I'm just saying, if you get a counseling report and on that report it says, Mr. Jones perpetuates the problems of our work environment, you just need to start looking for a new job, okay? Because you won't be there long, okay? So I'm just helping you out so you know the words when you read that report, about what you have done. The word perpetuate is not, in that instance, it is not a positive, okay, description of your activities. I'm just telling you that. So perpetuate, okay? Cause to continue or prevail, okay? That's the word, perpetuate, okay? I hope you guys are getting some. I'm trying to uplift your vocabulary. Now, there's only one word in the South that I believe is uniquely Southern, and I like it. I like the word, okay? I don't think I could go home to Indiana and use it too often, but politicians, people with PhDs, all these educated people, they use this one particular word all the time. And now when I first heard it, I must tell you, when I got to the South, I said, wow, that's not necessarily correct when they say that. However, I've heard it so many times until it is part of the lexicon. Does anybody know what that word is? There's one word in the South that's used that is uniquely Southern. And I like it. I like the word. It has some affection attached to it. If you can think of that before the end of the show today, let me know. Okay. There's one word in the South that's uniquely a Southern dialectical dessert. And people use it all the time, even some of the smart people. Okay. Now, I don't use it too often because it's not part of my lexicon. But it's all right. Now I just got a message that there's something going on. Something is going on Fairview Avenue. Police officers are out there in cars and walking around down by Carver School. Well, let me know what that is. Okay, let me know what that is. Some people out there watching Morning Joe. Well, I understand you got to have something to do in the morning. Anyway, it is April the 15th. And April the 5th, on this day in 1865, President Abraham Lincoln died 9 hours after being shot at the Ford Theater by John Wilkes Booth, okay, in Washington, D.C. Andrew Johnson became the nation's 17th president. In 1452, on this day, at least I don't see the video, but that's what they say. Artist and inventor Leonardo Da Vinci was born near the Tuscan town of Vinci, okay, Tuscan town of Vinci, whatever that is. On this day in 1912, the British luxury liner RMS Titanic foundered in the North Atlantic off Newfoundland more than 2.5 hours after hitting an iceberg. 1,500 people died. Actually, 1,514 people died, while less than half of as many survived. In 1943, Ayn Rand novel, The Fountainhead, was first published by Bobbs and Merrill Company. The year was 1945. On this day, during World War II, British and Canadian troops liberated the Nazi concentration camp in Bergen-Belsen. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who died on April the 12th, was buried at the Roosevelt family home in Hyde Park, New York. In 1947, Jackie Robinson became baseball's first black major league player, made his official debut at the Brooklyn Dodgers on opening day at Ebbets Field. The Dodgers defeated the Boston Braves 5-3. In 1959, on this day, Cuban leader Fidel Castro arrived in Washington to begin a goodwill tour of the United States. Secretary of State John Foster Dulles resigned for health reasons. He was succeeded by Christian A. Herter. Never heard of him. I don't know who he is, but I guess that was him. 1974, on this day, members of the Symbionese Liberation Army held up a branch of the Hibernia Bank in San Francisco, California. A member of the group was SLA kidnap victim Patricia Hearst, who by this time was going under the name of Tania. Hearst later said she'd been forced to participate. Hey, I believe her. 1985, South Africa said it would repeal laws prohibiting sex and marriage between whites and non-whites. Check that out. You see, they did that after we did over here. I don't know why they're so scared of that anyway. 1986, beside me headed to Honolulu to serve my country in the brisking sun and beautiful ocean and all that stuff, and rocking across the sacred ground of Pearl Harbor. Okay, you didn't ask me about that. 1986, the United States launched an air raid against Libya in response to the bombing of the discotheque in Berlin on April the 5th. Libya said 37 people, mostly civilians, were killed. I don't really know how bombing this. Never mind. 1989, 96 people died in a crash of soccer fans at Hillsborough Stadium in Sheffield, England. Students at Beijing launched a series of pro-democracy protests. The demonstrations culminated in a government crackdown on Tiananmen Square. If you remember that, that's the one where the young guy sat there in front of the tank. I can think the tank ran him over. Now that's what I call brave. That's what I call brave. That's brave. I may take a chance of getting shot at, but I don't think I'm going to stand in front of a tank. I mean, there's not, but one thing's going to happen with me and the tank. I'm going to lose that battle. But, which brings me to something. Martin Luther King said, until you find something worth dying for, you haven't lived yet. Does anybody, and I think there's some truth to that. I think there is some truth to that. You have to find something in life that you're willing to put it all on the line for. And if you haven't found that yet, then you're not really living. I just thought I'd let you know that. Okay, 1998, Pol Pot, the notorious leader of Khmer Rouge, died at the age of 72, evading prosecution for the death of 2 million Cambodians. In 2013, 2 bombs made from pressure cookers exploded at the Boston Marathon finish line, killing 2 women and an 18-year-old boy and injuring more than 260 people. Suspected bomber Timorin, whatever his last name is, died in a shootout with the police. His brother, whatever his name is, was tried, convicted, and sentenced to death. 10 years ago, whipped up by the conservative commentators and bloggers, tens of thousands of protest staged at tea parties across the country to tap into the collective anger stirred up by a bad economy, government spending, and bailouts. A U.S. Army Master Sergeant was convicted of murder in a court-martial in Vilseck, Germany, in the 2007 killings of 4 bound and blindfolded Iraqi. John Haley initially received life in prison, but the sentence was reduced later to 40 years. Still a long time. Pirates released the Greek-owned cargo ship, the Titan, and had been hijacked off the Somali coast on March the 19th. And it was 5 years ago, I remember this like it was yesterday, Boko Haram, a terrorist over in Africa, kidnapped more than 276 girls from a school in northeastern Nigeria. Survivors and first responders and relatives, of those killed in the Boston Marathon bombing marked the first anniversary of the attack, and tributes that combined sorrow over the loss of innocent victims and pride of a city's, and showed the pride of a city's resilience. And it was 1 year ago. A 7-hour battle over territory and money broke out amongst inmates armed with homemade knives at the Lee Correctional Institution in South Carolina, leaving 7 inmates dead, 22 injured in the worst U.S. prison riot in a quarter of a century. At the Academy of Country Music Awards held by Las Vegas 6 months after the deadly shooting at the Country Music Festival there, Jason Aldean paid tribute to 58 people who were killed. He spoke after he was named the Entertainer of the Year for the 3rd consecutive time. I don't know who that guy is. And has been performing at the Las Vegas Festival when the shooting began. Well, okay then. Guess that's good. Guess that's not really good, but okay. There are a lot of things going on. Another young soul we lost yesterday in Montgomery. What is it that can we do? What can we do? Nothing. Well, I'm still going to say that, and don't get me wrong, I am not putting this on these individuals individually, but we are maintaining a system in America, especially in American schools, where we do not employ discipline to its fullest extent. Those children who are not introduced to discipline when they're young, they grow up because they've never had the word no has been a difficult concept for them to understand. And if you grow up if you grow up in your younger days with people making excuses for you because you're on food stamps, because you got ADHD, because you got all the stuff, you got all these things that people want to label you as. So you just take it upon yourself to do things because you have this abnormality. So I am still blaming. If a child doesn't get disciplined at home, he has to get it someplace. And it seems today that the only place we get discipline is in jail. It's too late then. Our school systems, and I keep telling people all the time, I tell people about this, there's a Latin word. I was at this debate the other day, and the good Morehouse man kept bringing up Latin words. And I love Latin words once I understand what they mean. But there's a Latin word called Loco Parentis, which means in place of the parents. If we have children who don't know what discipline is, and then we send them to school who won't discipline them, those young people grow up to become the people that fill our jails and our prisons, and unfortunately our graveyards. And that's a shame. That's a shame. I am blaming a lot of this on our school system. Okay, that for some reason don't have the backbone often to take matters in hand and apply discipline like the state of Alabama law gives them the right to do. And so now we got all these kids out here now, they're growing up to be young adults. I was getting my haircut yesterday, and I was so proud of this kid, I didn't know what to do. I said, what do you do for a living? He told me what he did for a living, told me where he worked at and everything like that. I said, what high school did you go to? I said, I went to 4 of them. I said, well, now that either means one or two things. And he said, yes. He said, yeah, I was kind of a, a troublemaker. But he had to realize, and this is what he said. He said, listen, I had to realize that kind of behavior was not good. And now today, when I talked to him yesterday, I was so proud of him. His ability to understand, you know what, there are consequences for what you do, at least sometimes, most of the time. But he said, I had a lot of apologies to make along the way to people. Now, he was one of the few, he's one of those few people that got saved, you know, that turned his life around, because evidently somebody got in his way and got in his face and grabbed a hold of him, shook him and said, hey, you're not going to make it this way, you know. And I expect teachers and principals and counselors to do these kinds of things in our public schools. And, you know, I'm just telling you, these are the people that are growing up, the young folks now, who end up shooting other people. You either shoot other people or you get shot. Okay. But what I saw yesterday in the city of Montgomery, and this is what I normally don't look at those kinds of things, but I did. And I just, it broke my heart that so many, but now you won't see any, you know, you really won't see any protests about these things. You know, you won't see any protests. You won't see Black Lives Matter, because Black lives don't matter. I mean, it's a nice cliche. I mean, we like saying it because, you know, we like saying it because it sounds good, but not really. They don't really matter. They don't really matter until a white person's involved. Okay. So the question on the table: is it too late? I mean, really, is it too late to grab some of these young folks and try to teach them? I mean, is it too late? I mean, how many generations have to suffer with the lack of knowledge and discipline, and all in the name of political correctness? How many of our kids have to die, end up in prison, end up killing each other? I don't know, but evidently, some do. You know, some have. I guess we haven't enough. I mean, we raising hell right now, and the Montgomery public school system has gotten involved in something that I don't quite get, where they could be teaching. They made the paper yesterday because they were involved. They got involved in something that I think, as a political ploy, has got nothing to do with teaching kids. We'll get to that one next hour. Anyway, time's up.
News update on News Radio 1440.
Good morning. I'm Tanya Terry for WSFA 12 News. We start this morning with news out of the capital city. Montgomery police are investigating 3 different shootings on Wednesday. One was deadly. The deadly shooting happened Wednesday afternoon off the Troy Highway. Investigators say 29-year-old George Wheeler was shot off of Oakley Road. He died at the scene. MPD is still looking for the shooter and a motive. If you know anything, call Crime Stoppers at 215-STOP. An internal report is unveiling more on the Capitol Police's response to the January 6th riot in Washington, D.C. That report says police shields were shattered upon impact and some officers had weapons too old to use. It also points to misused intelligence. The report casts serious doubt on whether the police would be able to respond to another large-scale attack. Congress and the Justice Department continue to investigate, and prosecutors also announced Wednesday they will not charge a police officer who shot and killed a woman involved in that riot. That's the news for now. I'm Tanya Terry for WSFA 12 News.
News Radio 1440 is WLWI AM Montgomery, a Cumulus station, also heard on 95.1.
This is the CBS World News Roundup, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Preliminary research on rare and dangerous blood clots tied to Johnson & Johnson's COVID vaccine and others shows the disorder is much more common in people who don't get vaccinated. CBS's Dr. David Agus.
This is a study where they pulled data from large numbers of hospitals, predominantly in the United States. And the most, I think, important finding is that this particular blood clot in the brain, called cerebral venous thrombosis, happens 10 times more common in people with the viral infection than with the vaccine.
The CDC says it needs more information on the 6 reported clotting cases in the U.S. before it can lift a pause on the J&J shot here. One of the women who developed the disorder died. In Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, more than 20 people were arrested during a 4th night of protests over the shooting death of a young black man by a former police officer who's white. Correspondent Omar Villafranca.
Despite the mayor's calls for peaceful protests, there was some unrest last night. But now the mayor says that law enforcement officials are working to identify what they call agitators, because he says he knows there's a lot of people who are coming here to protest peacefully.
Ex-officer Kim Potter, who shot Dante Wright, is scheduled to make her first court appearance a day after she was charged with second-degree manslaughter. The House Judiciary Committee has advanced a bill creating a commission to study the issue of slave reparations. It's part of a decades-long effort to compensate their descendants. The Biden administration is expected to announce sanctions on Russia today. Correspondent Cami McCormick.
These sanctions will target over 30 entities and will include the expulsion of at least 10 Russian officials from the U.S. This involves election interference and the SolarWinds cyber attack on U.S. government computers and private companies. But the actions are also expected to address Russian encouragement of Taliban fighters to kill or injure U.S. forces in Afghanistan.
The day after the president announced a complete U.S. troop withdrawal from Afghanistan by September 11, Secretary of State Antony Blinken made an unannounced visit to the country.
I'm here to demonstrate our ongoing commitment to the Islamic Republic.
Back home in Chicago, it was a baseball thriller.
It's a no-hitter! Carlos Rodon!
ESPN Radio with the play-by-play as Rodon threw the second no-hitter of the season, but just missed in his bid for a perfect game on a hit batter with one out in the ninth. White Sox cruised to an 8-0 victory over the Indians last night. S&P futures are up 22, Dow futures ahead 166. This is CBS News.
CBS News Radio is your home for breaking news. With our team of reporters around the country and the world, we give you the coverage you can trust.
Maybe you can relate to this. A lot of people think they're stuck with their health plan. It costs too much, or for whatever reason, they just don't like it. The great news, you are not stuck with it. There is a choice. It's called MediShare, and you could save so much. The typical savings for a family is $500 a month. Major difference maker. This is the affordable alternative to health insurance. And just to give you a little more info about MediShare, it's a Christian healthcare sharing ministry. It's worked beautifully for 26 years, has more than 400,000 members, and they've shared over $3 billion of each other's medical bills. So yes, they can help share your needs too. So you're not stuck. There's an excellent alternative, whether you're single or married, you got a family. MediShare is super flexible. You can choose an option that works for you and start saving lots of money. You can join anytime. They're great to talk to, no pressure. Call 866-88-BIBLE. That's 866-88-BIBLE. 866-88-BIBLE.
California is getting ready for all students to go back to classrooms in the fall.
Governor Gavin Newsom is making it clear he wants students back in the classroom.
We value in-person education.
Newsom is calling on all schools to reopen when the new academic year begins in the fall. He admits it will take some convincing.
One has to acknowledge the anxiety that many of the parents are feeling.
The governor plans to lift all restrictions in the state on June 15th. He hopes with key COVID numbers dropping, California businesses can return to some semblance of normal. Steve Futterman, CBS News, Los Angeles.
A new study finds a stronger link between red meat and heart issues in humans. Researchers at Queen Mary Institute in the UK say they've drawn the first direct link between steaks and bacon and actual heart function, as opposed to heart attacks and heart disease. Study authors looked at vascular structure and function. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Hey, this is Randy and Tammy Burkhalter at Travel Farm Center.
Hey, Randy, tell me about those hot chicks I've been hearing about.
Now, Tammy, I don't know any since we got married.
No, Randy, the baby chick.
Oh, yeah, we're getting blood out of reds, Americanas, Buff Orpingtons, and about 6 other different varieties.
Plus ducks, turkeys, geese, and guineas.
Hey, and raising chickens is a great family project.
And you get to look forward to fresh eggs.
Visit Travel Farm Center at 1154 South Memorial Drive and pick up your hot chicks today.
Shop the Rustic Furniture Outlet at American Oak Board. Handmade solid wood rustic furniture at factory direct prices.
70% off every day.
How can we sell so cheap?
Because we're a direct outlet for the factory. Truck loads arriving weekly.
Whether you're looking for bedroom suites, tables and chairs, occasional tables, entertainment centers, consoles, gun cabinets, bathroom vanity, if it's rustic, we got you covered. And it's all up to 70% off every day. The Rustic Furniture Outlet is Tucka Highway next to American Oak Board. Hey y'all, it's Cassidy and Cody Wolves here at America Nothing More. We have some exciting news to share.
No, not what you're thinking. No babies yet. We did just launch our newest line called Wolf Brothers Furniture.
This line consists of 6 collections, including power and manual sofas, love seats, sectionals, and recliners.
Quality is key here at American Nothing More, so we designed these collections with solid wood frames and high density foam.
Last but not least, whether they're covered in microfiber or leather, they all come with a 5-year warranty.
Stop by and see us at American Nothing More.
Think Local is a state of mind at Guardian Credit Union, and that means giving our members access to the cash they need when they need it. Think financial flexibility or debt consolidation. Think dream vacation or large purchases. Think quick online application and fast answers. At Guardian Credit Union, getting a loan is as easy as borrowing debt. Think personal loan. Think Guardian. Federally issued by NCUA Equal Housing Option. NMLS 912757.
If your family depends on your income, something happened to you, what would happen to them? You need life insurance, and SelectQuote can help you get it at a price you can afford.
SelectQuote found Jacob, 40, who's in excellent health, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $19 a month.
Not in perfect health? Don't worry.
SelectQuote found Tanya, 40, who has type 2 diabetes, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $32 a month.
We shop companies like Protective, Prudential, American General, and others to find you the company with the best rates. Give your family the security they need at a price you can afford.
For your free quote, call 1-800-885-8811. That's 1-800-885-8811. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-885-8811.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policies at selectquote.com/commercials. Your premium could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
He is the voice of the conservative millennials.
The president is going to have to stand fast.
The Ben Shapiro Show.
They're not going to be willing to keep the government shut down.
Tomorrow at 3 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.